Good day folks, Sean here from Air Photography. So usually about this time of year in January, I like to go over some of my favorite GoPro accessories. Perhaps a useful video for those who maybe received one over the holiday season and are wondering what accessories they should get for with it to help enhance the way they capture. Now, not all of these accessories are going to be useful to everybody. It all really depends on how you're going to be using your GoPro. But with all that said, let's just jump right in. Now, the very first item I have here I think is the most important as a new GoPro user, and that is basically a handle. Now this is the GoPro Handler. It's a floating handle, so if you're going to be using your GoPro in and around water and you happen to drop it, this will keep your GoPro floating and prevent it from sinking down to the bottom. Now for me, a handle like this is not just good for in and around water. It makes just for a good everyday grip. If you're going to be doing any type of adventuring or sightseeing and you just want a handle to capture some handheld footage, a grip like this is a perfect choice. On top of that, it does have a wrist strap, so in some situations that can be very important as well. Like if you're going down a water slide or you're on a roller coaster, having a wrist strap can be very important. Due to the foam on the grip, it's very comfortable to hold and it doesn't get slippery when it's wet. So for me, this is a very important tool to have in your GoPro kit. Now the next item you may want to consider is a waterproof housing for your GoPro. Although the GoPro is waterproof right out of the box, if you need to go deeper than what it's rated for, it's very important that you put it in a housing. But more importantly, I like these for just adding some extra durability to the GoPro. These GoPros are actually pretty durable, but the screens can still be damaged in some situations. Putting it in a housing like this, your GoPro is going to be able to take a little bit more abuse. For example, if you have it mounted on something like an RC car or on a skateboard, if the unthinkable happens and it gets smashed, chances are it's just going to be the casing that's going to be damaged, and the casing is a lot cheaper to replace than your whole GoPro. Now this isn't an accessory I use on a regular basis, but it is a pretty important tool to have in some situations. Now the third item here is the GoPro Media Mod. Again, this is not for everybody. It just really depends if you want to use your GoPro for vlogging and you want to be able to capture good audio. When your GoPro is mounted in the Media Mod, in theory, it's supposed to give you better audio due to these built-in microphones, but more importantly, it now gives you the ability to add an external microphone, either a wireless microphone system or a traditional shotgun style microphone. On top of that, you do also get an HDMI port, and for some people that might be beneficial as well. On the side here in the top, we have cold shoes for mounting microphones, again another important feature. So if you are going to be using your GoPro for vlogging, something like this, an accessory like this, is a definite must. Now another item you may want to consider, and again this is not going to be a useful tool for everybody, but that is the GoPro Remote. You can control multiple GoPros with this one remote, and depending on how you're using your GoPro, perhaps you have it mounted on the outside of a vehicle. An accessory like this allows you to easily change modes and stop and start recording. You can also strap this to your wrist, so if you have your GoPro mounted on something like a helmet that you can't easily access, you're still able to stop and start recording quite easy. So definitely it can be important for some people. Now the next item here is a magnetic GoPro mount. This can come in useful in many different situations. I use it quite a bit when I'm capturing drive lapses. It's a very strong magnet and there's no worry about it coming disconnected from your car. The only downfall to it is because it is a magnet, it's held on magnetically. Some vehicles are now built with aluminum, so you're not going to be able to use it on those types of cars. It does have a rubber coating on it, so you're not going to damage the paint. And as mentioned, it has a very strong connection. Of course, there's many other useful uses for a device like this, as it will connect to anything that is metal. So definitely an accessory that you may want to consider. Now another accessory that I highly recommend is this aluminum frame from Teleson. It is extremely lightweight, it's made from a lightweight aluminum, and this can come in handy for a couple different scenarios. First of all, it can offer some extra protection for your GoPro in certain situations, just a little bit of extra impact protection, but ideally it's great for those of you who want to mount your GoPro vertically without having to mess around with a bunch of different adapters. It comes with an extra finger mount that we mount on the side here. As you can see there, we now have it attached, and it just gives us a nice easy way to mount it vertically if you're creating a lot of short form content for social media. Of course, it still has traditional finger mounts at the bottom built in, as you can see there. On top of that, it even has a 1/4-20 right there in the middle. So if you need to attach it to some accessories that have a 1/4-20, you're able to do so easily. Mounting a GoPro is as simple as removing the back door and then sliding the GoPro inside. This frame is compatible with the Hero 9, 10, and 11 Black. Now an accessory like this is not going to be useful to everybody, but for some people having that vertical mount is going to be very useful. Now the next accessory you may want to consider is a dedicated charger. Although you can charge your GoPro batteries up right in the camera, the problem doing that is that the camera cannot be used while you're charging your batteries. If you're on vacation and you need to charge up your batteries, unfortunately you can't use your GoPro. By having a dedicated charger, you can charge up your batteries while still using your camera. When you purchase it, you also get a spare battery, which is another important accessory to have. And just like your GoPro, you can use this in conjunction with a power bank and charge your GoPro on the go. Now this next item here is another personal favorite of mine. This is the GoPro Volta. Basically, this is a power bank handle. You can see here we have built-in controls, and you can also use this as a wireless remote. And then on top of that, it does have a built-in tripod. So if you do need to set your camera down to do some filming, you can do so all with this one device. Once you have your GoPro mounted and you have it plugged in, this can provide your GoPro with almost all-day power. As you can see here, it's very convenient to power your GoPro on, to stop and start recording, and of course to change modes. Definitely one of my top favorite GoPro accessories. Now the next accessory here is another one of my favorites. This is called the Max Grip. Although it was originally designed for the GoPro Max, their 360 camera, it works great with a GoPro as well. Basically, again, it's a multi-purpose device. First of all, it works just as a nice handle. It also has a built-in extension pole if you need to get a little extra reach. And again, it also has a built-in tripod. It has a nice rubberized coating on it to give you good grip, and just due to its size, it's even very comfortable to use when wearing thick winter gloves. Definitely, it's something I highly recommend to new GoPro users. Now the next item here is one of those accessories that's not going to be useful to everybody, but for some people it's going to be very important. Basically, this is a floating case for your GoPro. The reason why an accessory like this can be very important, if you're going to be mounting your GoPro on something like a jet ski, canoe, or kayak, perhaps your boat, some of those mounts can fail, and if your GoPro happens to fall in the water, this again will keep it afloat. Myself, I use this quite a bit when I mount my GoPro on my RC boat. I've already had it once where one of the mounts came off. Luckily, it was in very shallow water and I was able to retrieve the GoPro, but if I had been out deeper, I would have lost it. So something like this is some pretty cheap insurance to make sure that you never lose your GoPro. Beside here we have a spot that you can attach a tether. The back touchscreen is fully accessible, as is the power button and the record button on the top. If we go to the bottom here, you can see we still have full access to the finger mounts. So again, not for everybody, but for some people this will be a very valuable accessory. The next item here is a clip accessory, and again this is kind of multi-purpose as you can clip it to things, but it also has a built-in magnet on the back, so you can stick it to things magnetically. Now the magnet mount in here is not super strong, so I wouldn't use this to mount to a vehicle, but if you're just going to be mounting it to something like a street sign, a metal fence, it is plenty strong enough for situations like that. The mount on it swivels, so you're able to get the angle that you need. It's a nice small accessory and it doesn't take up a lot of room in a camera bag. Now the last item here is a neck mount for your GoPro. And this has probably got to be one of my most used GoPro accessories as of late. I use it quite a bit when filming content for my YouTube channel. It's a great little accessory that helps you get nice point of view shots. It's very comfortable to wear. There's a button on the back that detaches it, and then you just mount your GoPro in there like that. Of course, you can mount it upside down as well, or you can even use it with a bit of an extension if you need some more length. An accessory like this can be a little bit more convenient than a chest mount, although chest mounts are better suited for some situations. Just for some casual filming, something like this is just really simple and easy to use. I've been using it for a lot of point of view shots when I'm filming, and I've actually been really happy with it. So definitely an item that you may want to consider. Well folks, that's basically it for this video. Those are 12 accessories that I recommend to new GoPro users that you might find beneficial. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and got some value out of it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. It's always greatly appreciated. And we'll see you on the next one.